What is up, YouTube? That's here. Today we're doing more VGC Series 2 Patreon team fixing. These teams are sent to me on Patreon. We're looking at a team from Andreas today, but there is a link to the Patreon team submission post. We have 39 or 40 people that have already submitted teams for this month, so I got to get on this. Andreas submitted this team with this huge write-up, and I love the write-ups. Like, I love seeing you guys actually take the time to write the stuff out, telling me exactly what you want fixed. They're open to switching out the Grim. They're open to switching out Gastrodon. They would like Hydreigon to stay. They would like Forretress to stay. So we're going to do our very best to keep these mons, but you can see in this little write-up that this is their first time making a competitive team. And realistically, if this is your first time making a team, this is what you came up with, you're almost there. The biggest thing that this team needs is more protects. We have no protect here, 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 right? There's no protects on the whole team. And there's a quick guard, almost there. But yeah, the protect is so important. That's the number one thing I want to drive home through these little team building guides. Start your sets with protect unless you're using choice items. And after that, think about using good defensive Terras. Think about what you're actually trying to do with your speed control. We take a look at the submitted team here, which is still okay. Scream's Grim is good. You can see this team has 2 hazard users on Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes on the Forretress, so it's kind of hard to use those sort of mechanics in VGC. I'll be playing a few test games probably and showing you guys the faults in this sort of game plan in VGC, especially in Series 2, and then hopefully we'll be able to fix those things nearing the end of the video. I want to say, before we get into it though, the question of the day: what sort of content do you guys actually want to see on Patreon? Right now we do our team fixing, we do our tournaments. That's where I post all my rentals, so if there's any teams you want to see that I've used, or any teams you want to see from the pace or anything like that, or get inspiration for sets, I have like literally hundreds of teams up there in PokePaste form, as many rentals as I can as possible, up on Patreon. Think about checking those out. And I'm just curious, like, what other stuff do you guys want to see? Do you want to see content for other games? I do post a decent amount of like singles teams there that I don't ever make into YouTube videos. So if you want to see the type of like 6v6 or 3v3 singles teams that I'm messing around with in my own spare time, that stuff's up on Patreon as well. But yeah, let me know the sort of content you want to see. I'm just generally curious so I can better finely tune that platform to you guys' requests and needs. But basically, we're going to be trying to fix this team. We're trying to make it for Series 2. There's no Paradox Mons in this team, but we will be playing against them and maybe even using some in the team fixing session. So other than that, we're just going to hop right into it. Wish me luck. Here we go. Awesome. So here is our first game. I think Golduck's actually not as bad as people think it is. It's a great Cloud9 user going into Series 2. I also think that like the Rotom forms are going to pick up in popularity. They're just good at dealing AoE damage. They have Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is super good against Iron Hands. And they also have like the Intimidate from Arcanine. Intimidate from Arcanine is going to make it a lot harder to use the Forretress and a couple of these other Pokemon. I think the Lucario as well. It is inner focus, so we can at least avoid the Intimidate there. Let's see, what do I want to do here? I think we should be trying to play this team the way that it was intended to be played. I want to see the Terra on the Gastrodon. Looks like that doesn't really work. Let's go like this to see the Terra on the Gastrodon. It looks like we're water, so we don't have like a good Terra, like a Terra Fire, to go into to avoid like a Leaf Storm, but we can still lead Gastrodon and Forretress and try and set some screens, and then maybe pivot a little bit into something like a Talonflame, and then try and win the game with a late game Hydreigon. I think that's probably going to be our best bet. I think realistically what we should be doing with this team is completely deconstructing everything, but it's always a good idea to play the teams the way they were submitted first, just to get a better understanding of what each mon is really supposed to be doing. I'm looking again at the team right here. I'm seeing like Hydreigon's Orb, pretty standard. Gastrodon's a wall, Talonflame's a sweeper, but like it's gonna be a lot harder than it probably looks on paper to deal with this. So let's see, does Forretress have a good defensive Terra? Survey says no, we're Steel Terra. And they got the Quark Drive, booster energy, so they got a lot of stuff. They got a defense boost over there, so that thing, we're definitely going to be taking out this thing with Hydreigon if we ever get a shot with like a big heat wave. It's probably our only option. I wish we had Yawn. I wish we had anything really cool here. I'm just going to open up with the Stealth Rocks. I think that's probably going to be my best bet. I would love to have a way to like make them switch like a red card or something, but I think that's a little bit extra. In terms of like hazards, we even don't need to put Toxic Spikes up because the remainder of the mons like the Rotom and the Murkrow potentially are in the air. So what we're realistically going to do right here, there's no reason to gyro anything either. we can just hard switch in Talonflame and block the Flare Blitz potentially. It also potentially blocks like a ground attack that comes in that slot. And I don't want to take any damage on the Hydreigon. So let's go in here. Talonflame's a good switch in here. They should be really over-respecting, I would say, the Gastrodon slot. Iron Defense, wow, that thing is going to be crazy hard to beat. Wow. Let's see what they're doing. Rocks are up. We're faster than their Arcanine. Are they roaring us? Whoa, no way. No way, bro. And the way we're able to tell that they roared there is Roar has a negative priority. And so negative priority moves like that make it so our slow Pokemon like Gastrodon still go first in that situation. Hydreigon? Works for me. We got Stealth Rocks up and free switch into that. That is magnifique. Perfect. Yeah, we're just going to go for the Heat Wave. Remember, we're a Steel Terror here, so it doesn't really do us any favors to Terastallize. But Heat Wave's good damage versus Iron Treads. And Wisp is also amazing versus Iron Treads. I actually think what I'm going to do, though, is we actually need Tailwind to make sure that we outspeed that Iron Treads. But let's see. I think we could probably just get away with U-turning into something. I don't really think we need to be Wisping right now. I know that sounds really weird, but like Body Press would still mess up our Hydreigon. I'm going to U-turn into the Arcanine, just because they might be switching out and they might be bringing in something that's sashed. I don't think Heat Wave KOs their Iron Treads, and we don't know what Terra type they are either. They'll have to like Fire or something. They're Terastallizing it, and they are Ground Terra, so this Heat Wave is not going to be doing us any favors at all. But good thing is both of our mons are, they are in the air, so we're fine. Good U-turn there. We're trying to block an attack in that slot. Remember, U-turning into our Gastrodon. Maybe they're going to be over-respecting the Talonflame slot for our speed control. So Gastrodon can come and soak a little bit of damage. It's just so weird having to like maintain board state with what it's basically singles mons. Heat Wave's still great damage there. And he burns on the Iron Treads. It would have been really, really good to see. And Body Press. Yeah, we couldn't have stopped it. If Will was there, they still would have OHKO'd us. We had a Steel Terror. There was absolutely nothing we could have done about that situation. And so, yeah, this Iron Tread is basically just going to roll us over now. And we don't even have Protect, I don't think, right? Yeah, like, another thing about these sort of teams here is, like, let's look at this again. There's, like, no Protect here, no Protect here, no Protect here. There's a Quick Guard, doesn't really help. No Protect here, no Protect here, no Protect here. The number one thing you guys got to get in your heads is, like, when you think you want to play these VGC formats, you got to have Protect. It's so, so important. All right, what do we want to send out? Talonflame is not that hot. Can't do anything in that situation. Gastrodon might be able to get something done with like Chilling Water. But again, it would be really nice to have a... It would be really, really nice to have a Protect here. That's all I'm saying. So here we go. What did they use with Arcanine? They had a Stat Drop? Yeah, they ordered Special Attack. They must have gone with Snarl. Snarl's a good play there. Yeah, I just don't have anything for that at all. There's no reason to Toxic Spikes, but you might as well. And... like, Chilling Water's not that great. We can double dip it, but it doesn't really get us anything. We could swap out Gastrodon for... but then we just have to get Snarled again. Let's just go for Chilling Water, see what we can get done. There's a Protect. See the value of Protect. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, even those Snarls breaking our potential sturdy, but they missed the Snarl, so we do be taking those. So it's a free Toxic Spikes. But I just don't see how we come and grind this out in the back. What we're actually going to have to do is hard switch out Gastrodon. I wish I had a Protect, you know what I mean? I could Protect bait so easily, bring in the Talonflame and then Wisp it. But it's looking like that's not going to be that much of an option. We might just have to start Gyro Balling down the Iron Treads over there. It's not that much damage. I like that they PP maxed it as well. Yeah, we got to pivot. We're at -2, so like we have to. We can actually still mess up those guys. That Arcanine's going to come in and take Stealth Rocks damage and Toxic damage. Rotom comes in and just takes Stealth Rocks. That's fine. It's a good pivot in for Talonflame. I don't think they OHKO me with like a Body Press, but we'll see. This Gyro Ball's not going to be doing us anything unless it crits, by the way. Yeah, Body Press out. Cool, at least we're still alive. You know, we resist it, so... Look at that. Nothing, bro! Oh, that's so terrible. There's the ground. Ugh. I just don't see how we get out of that. Even a crit doesn't realistically do us any favors there. We have to hard switch in Gastrodon to block an electric attack, which I don't really want to do, and go for just a Wisp into this slot. Wisp isn't going to do us any favors either, and we got to eventually get that Rotom off the board. I'm hoping that they overcommit into the... Let's see what they go for. No protects, of course, never lucky. I was hoping they'd protect with Rotom and the next turn we could Foil Blitz it, but you know, it is what it is. At least we stuck the Will-O-Wisp there. There's the Voltage in town playing when we lose it. I was surprised they would actually overcommit into that, because we were talking about switching a Gastro so many different times. But every single time they come in, they have to take chip damage. So like Volt Switches and stuff like that are not the right play in every single situation. So I mean, if they... Who knows? Maybe they can miss every single Leaf Storm. Like, we'll still play to our outs. And they might not have a great board to deal with Forretress, realistically. Yeah, look at this damage. Look at this. Bam! Bam! Oh, yes. That's nice. So we get to bring up Forretress, which is pretty garbage. That still does so much. Even burned. Remember, just because it's a body press, which calcs off the defense, it's an attack. It uses your attack, not your attack stat, but it has to go through your attack to work. So burning mons that use body press is still the right play. Otherwise, we just would have almost been one shot right there. So let's see. We have Forretress here. You can see how a protect here would change the whole game. Being able to weave in stuff like that. What do we need to do? We're probably going to have to pop a recover. I think Chilling Water is another decent option. We can even go for just an Earth Power, get the Arcanine off the board, but then that opens up a slot for Rotom to come in and just win the game, basically. We have nothing good to Terrastalize into. I'm going to do this just because, like, there's nothing else for us to Terrastalize into. And if they did want to pivot, it would be good. Also, Terrastalize Forretress is cool. You might as well. This is like the only time you're ever going to see one of these happen, so might as well do it, right? So let's see what happens. Body press, ow. Recover would have been nice to use there, but I think it's the only thing that we can do. They're going to clock their, yeah, they don't even get the KO because we actually took away some of our weakness there, so it was still the right play. Unlucky burn! We don't need unluck happening here. That was such a good play for me, too. Oh well. Dang. It procs our Citrus, but like still, if we didn't get burned there, we might have almost been able to do something here. Because we can basically wait out the iron, what is it, Iron Treads? We can basically wait that thing out. This Gyro Ball's not going to do anything because now we're burned too. The reason we went with both those was to catch the Rotom switching, and you see it doesn't do like any damage at all. It's not that Gyro Ball doesn't do any damage. It's that like this Pokemon itself, this Forretress set, it's optimized to work with Gyro Ball, but it just doesn't really get the job done. Let's put this over here. There we go. And they're just going to bring in their Rotom. I don't think there's a single thing I can do. They take more Stealth Rocks damage, right? But they just have to miss like every single Leaf Storm for the rest of time. And like we have to weave in like recovers and stuff like that. Like I don't see a way that we actually get ourselves out of this. Might as well just play it out, force them to Leaf Storm. They'll reveal more about their set. But you can see, you gotta have Protects here. You gotta have so many different things. Looks like they don't have Protect. Or, sorry, not Protect. They don't have a Leaf Storm unless they're just going for... They're taking more Life Orb damage. That's so good for us. Okay, so they let us get a free Recover off. We take those. Free Recover plus Lefties. That Rotom's Life Orbed. But if its moveset's like Protect, Discharge, Volt Switch, something weird, if it can't hit Gastro, it can't hit Gastro. Like, I'm assuming it has Leaf Storm, but like, we'll just keep playing, you know, keep playing this out. What if like their last mon for some reason is, let's see, what could their last mon be? That would be, their last mon could be Golduck and not have any attacks that can really hit us, and they might have to Thunder Wave themselves. Again, this is another situation where Protect could be pretty nice. Make them have to, like, if we kill the Iron Treads, maybe they miss a Leaf Storm, and then next time we drop Protect, they have to Discharge or Volt Switch into their own Mon. Like, that'd be really, really good. Let's go for the Chilling Water here. I'm assuming they have Leaf Storm. There's Leaf Storm. What are you really going to do? You need defensive Terras, you need Protects, you need Speed Control. There's a lot of things that these teams need. And that was the one game of us trying to play the team the way it was submitted with Hazards. This is just another classic example of why Hazards aren't really that great in VGC as compared to doubles. So in the next game, we're going to do something a little bit different. Well, that's a pretty popular Series 2 rental code. We're going to do something a little bit different here where we put up screens, get up a Tailwind, and then close out the game with Hydreigon and Lucario. So to see these two mons here, Forretress and Gastrodon. Forretress is really cool. It's just a really, really hard mon to use in this format with the exact move set that you have. It's a lot better actually suited for like best of 3 tournament play in my opinion, which we'll talk about in a little bit later date. And I feel that just Gastrodon in general is a really, really reactive Pokemon. You can say, they have rain, you have to bring Gastrodon. Well, the illusion of Gastrodon in the team preview is usually enough to actually disincentivize big, aggressive mons that would like to pin Gastrodon. I think this is actually a much better play because we actually still can deal with a lot of those mons. And all we really need to do is just get speed control, set up a screen, and we're good to go. Gastrodon can get cheesed by so many mons in this format, and I feel like playing Gastrodon a lot of the times, similar to playing screens in my opinion, is a slow loss. It's saying like, I hope you don't crit me, I hope you don't flinch me, I hope you don't have Grass Terror, I hope you don't have Giga Drain Tech. And I don't think that's the way you should be approaching a lot of matchups. It's one of those things that like gets you just good enough to beat like some players, but you're gonna hit a huge wall. And so Gastrodon can sometimes be really good, but it's just probably not the best play every single time, even in good matchups. Like, case in point, did they bring Rain? We don't really see it. And if their Rain Core, if it was like Pelipper and like a Swift Swim user, I would have brought the Gastrodon. But it's Pelipper and Palafin, which means you never bring Palafin versus Gastrodon because it can never flip turn correctly. You always switch in and go for the Storm Drain boost. So that means they don't even have it, which means realistically they might have Pelipper, but there's a good chance they have the Volcarona with a Grass Terra or a Giga Drain move and a Goldango in the back. So we already know what their mons in the back are going to be. So in this situation, what do we want to do? I'm probably going to try and burn that Great Tusk over there. And I think I'm going to go for a Thunder Wave into the Flutter Mane. Just get big speed control this way. So the Thunder Wave here is also going to make the Flutter Mane slower than my Talon Flame so we can actually get this. So hopefully we hit our moves. 2 moves that are not 100% accuracy, but they're still right. So Thunder Wave, speed control. That means any of our mons can check that thing basically whenever we feel like it now. And now, hopefully we are able to hit our Will-O-Wisp. Nice. Great stuff in this situation. So you could totally go for a bunch of different things here, but I don't think I'm in that bad of a position. That Flutter Mane's basically able to be taken out whenever we want. We get the lucky Paras. We love to see that. And what burned move are you going for? Rock Slide. And you're going to get a miss, right? Nice. Shouldn't get the KO on Talonflame. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I think in this situation, our Talonflame, we don't need to Terra. I think we can just double into the Flutter Mane and go like Spirit Break plus, we could even U-turn if we wanted to. We could set up our Tailwind right now. Realistically, these are 2 fast things, so we don't actually even need to Tailwind. Hydreigon can just Terra in the back and be good to go. I think it's better just to Brave Bird and get that thing off the board to make it so Hydreigon can come in easier. Or I guess, like, if you U-turned there and brought in your Hydreigon and they just degleamed, you would like lose the game. So we got to get that thing off the board. Protect, hey, good play, great play. They're going to get a free Rock Slide here, and then we are going to have to bring out Hydreigon, and we're probably going to have to Terralize it, and I don't want to Steel Terra. I think Fire Terra is just a much better Terra for Hydreigon, just because it has Levitate. That's a great play from our opponent, by the way. We actually can't go Hydreigon yet. Like, I'd like to, but we just can't. We have to go Lucario, probably, and does Lucario have any good Terras? Lucario's Terra is Ice! What is that even doing? Ice. Huh. Weird. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I guess we could Reflect Steel Terra. Reflect would make it so we just take way less damage from like a close combat. And Heat Wave would break Sash if they had it. We'll just go for the Flash Cannon and Reflect, because if they're not Sash, they're just gone. And this makes so we just shouldn't die to a close combat, but like, that was a good play with the Protect. It just shows this person knows what they're doing. So let's see, they're going to Witch Rock Flutter Mane. That's going to be useless a little bit later on in the matchup. They're going to come in on a big Flash Cannon. Volcarona on the Flash Cannon. We already talked about Volk being an issue in this situation. We can just Thunder Wave that Volk out or set up a light screen, though. It'd be really nice if we had Protect on our Hydreigon. You know what I'm saying? If we have Protect on our Hydreigon, we would go Protect Thunder Wave into like a light screen. Or even like light screen Protect into a Thunder Wave the next turn. That way we already have the screen to soak the damage on the Grim. Let's see. Reflex up. And Flash Cannon. Decent damage here, but you get to see if they're lefties or not. Nope. Well, we'll see. We'll see. They're pretty thick. Ice Spinner. Cool. They went for a weird move in that situation. Don't do anything. We took more damage from Life Orb. And are you lefties or not? We can ignore that Great Tusk forever, by the way. It just doesn't do anything. Grimstomp can 1v1 it in the late game. I think you still Thunder Wave the Volk, because Volk actually has 100 base speed. It would outspeed us. And You don't want a Draco, but I think Dark Pulse might be the right play. Draco would get the KO, I guess. Probably. Draco would definitely get the KO unless I have like a Steel Terra. But like Dark Pulse would probably also get the KO. I don't think we can risk it though, right? Am I wrong? I'm confident that Dark Pulse can get it. So let's see if you're Lum. Okay. Let's go also flinch. Yeah, Draco might have gotten that, but like let's see what they even do. They have to go through Para and flinch. There's the close combat. There's a reflect up and their burn. We're not dead yet. And Survey says, what are you doing over there? Heatwave. Oh, they got it. They went through the burn, through the Para. Unlucky. And they crit through our screen. Bro! Can we play Pokemon? I wanted to play Pokemon today. I didn't know that that wasn't on the table. My bad. Now let's see. We got to get that thing off the board over there. Lucario has a pretty terrible matchup versus Volk. Considering our Lucario set, like look at the EVs and the moves. Like, look at it. So we have like full HP with defense but def, and then like, what is this even doing? You know, this is wasting 4 points here too. So this is going to be really hard to climb back in, and we'll just do what we can. We have Spirit Break over here, and I guess we have to Flash Cannon that Volk. It's either Aura Sphere or Flash Cannon, and like realistically, I think that Flash Cannon is better just because they could switch in the Flutter Mane, or they could go Ghost Terra for some weird reason, but you don't want to Brick Break just because we don't want to get burned by Flame Body. Headlong Rush, it can't do anything about it, you know. You can drop your stats all you want. We should be able to take that thing out with a Spirit Breaker too. Maybe even like a Bullet Punch or something next turn. Flash Cannon's cool. Yeah, dude, we don't get anything off this. Spirit Break goes into that slot. Note that Grim outspeeds that guy next turn. Maybe we have to go with that with Grim. Cool. I mean, if we can dodge one more Heat Wave, I would say we have shots, but like, it's not looking for our hero. Yeah. 4 HP. Any burns? No. Okay. Goldango. We have nothing against Goldango. We can't even hit it. So we deduced that the right Mons were back there, but we can't actually do anything about that. So again, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. If we go back and take a look at like what the team needs to do, we set our screens up, we set our speed control up, we set dots up, and like we have absolutely no way to like pivot around things. We have no forms of like speed control. We have a little bit of damage mitigation. And when I say speed control, like Tailwind's cool, Thunder Wave's cool, but like we don't have any way to like actually do anything with the speed control after we get it. We don't have any ways to actually sweep anything. Like you can see also there's no Paradox Mons on these teams. So let's see what we can actually get done. The right play here would be there's nothing that we can do. We can Spirit Break here. We can't protect anything. We can't even hit Goldango unless they Terrastalize into some weird type. And even if we could hit it, we can't get anything out of it. So make it rain. And they're it looks like they're just faster than us anyways. And we couldn't Thunder Wave there because of their good as gold ability. So like we were super pinned. So yeah, man, it's rough using a team like this. And I understand why it was submitted. Like they said that they weren't getting very good results, and so now we're gonna try and fix it. I mean, we're gonna try our best to fix it. This team has a million different holes, but hopefully we can pull something together that actually works for Series 2. All right, so the good news is we figured out some things that don't work with this team. We tried the whole setting up hazards, and in reality, the difference between VGC and singles is there's just not enough pivoting that goes on to actually warrant setting up things like Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes most of the time. You really don't need a spinner. There's not really a need for a lot of these Terras either. You're not going to need to double dip your Terra on most of these Mons. You need to be using different sort of Terra shards to actually change these Terras to be a little bit more defensive. You also need to be adding Protects. This isn't singles. You gotta add Protect to your Mons. That way you can protect with some things, fodder some things, pivot in some things, actually regain a board position. It's a great way to actually play the game after you get your screens up, after you get a little bit of speed control. It's those sort of mechanics that make VGC different from singles, and so that's what we're going to be working on right now. I want to take a look at the actual defensive type chart, because I actually think that one of the things this team does best is its type chart. Very good defensive typing. We have a weakness to Fairy on Grimmsnarl and Hydreigon that's mitigated by Talonflame and Forretress. We have 2 weaknesses to fighting on Lucario and Hydreigon. Hydreigon still Terras to keep that same weakness. Lucario also terastallizes into Ice to keep that weakness, so it's not that great. And then you have a resistance to do on Talonflame, but you need to preserve Talonflame's Gale Wings, so it's not that great of a position. But this is a good defensive type chart. We are going to make a few changes. Taking a look at this team, I think keeping Hydreigon, we can do that. I think keeping Talonflame, we can do that. I think keeping Grimmsnarl, we can also do that. I think these are the 3 Pokemon we're going to try to tweak. I think keeping Forretress, I think I have a really, really cool way in which we can do that. And then I think Lucario needs to be tweaked into a Scizor. I think turning Lucario into a Scizor is going to give us a lot more bang for our buck. Scizor would do a great job at like peeling off the Mons that give this team a lot of problems. I think Scizor could be great versus Fluttermanes, can be great versus Iron Bundles, and it's basically doing exactly what you're doing with this Lucario, but just at a little bit better level. So if you turn this into a Scizor here, I think you're going to be surprised by how well it goes. And in reality, we already know where I'm going with this. I think Gastron's a really, really good Mon, but it's very reactive. You need to have a good defensive Terra. I think because you already have a Levitate Mon and Levitate Mon, we're probably going to make this a Flying Terra. I think a Garchomp will go good here. We always like to recommend Garchomp, and one of the reasons why I recommend Garchomp on so many of these teams is because it's a very easy Pokemon to use for these people that need to be taking their first steps into VGC. If we take a look back at their submission right here, they've been watching my team fixing series, and I thought they'd give it a shot. I've never played Pokemon competitively, so this is my first team. And I think if that's your first team, you're doing great. We're just going to be making the next step to make it so it's a little bit easier to use, to where you can still technically play the game and learn from it. When you win, you know exactly why you won, and when you lose with this team, you're going to understand exactly what Mon pinned you a little bit too hard, and you're going to have the tools on this team to actually think if you were to play another game against that Mon, or maybe the next time you fight that Mon, you're going to think about other things that you could be doing to defeat those Mons. So I think that these are the ones we're going to be going for here. If we take a look at what this does over here, we're going to be turning this into a Scizor, and we're going to be turning this into a Garchomp. And it's going to make us a little bit weak to Fairy, but we also have 3 Fairy resistances. And our Terastallizes are going to resist Fairy as well. So another cool thing about this is, if we're going to be baiting people and using Fairies, we have a Scizor and a Forretress. If they want to overcommit to using Fairy Mons like Roaring Moon, like Fluttermane, we can punish those super easy. So it's a good set. There's the weakness right there. So let's go into this right now. Now, again, when I build my teams, I like to pick my movesets first and then work on items and abilities and all those things. I think in terms of movesets, I think that Scarf Chomp's going to be very, very good here, but that's going to look something like Earthquake. That's going to look something like Dragon Claw still. That's going to look something like Rock Slide, definitely that Rock Slide for that weakening flinch potential, and Stomping Tantrum in case you are paired with one of your other Mons you don't want to hit. So this is the moveset that I like on Scarf Chomp. I think on Scizor as well, one really, really cool thing that Scizor brings to the table is, first of all, the move Protect, which we're going to be adding on a lot of these Mons. But it also gets Feint, which is very, very, very good. I think Feint is super, super underrated on this Mon, and it allows you to just break people up that want to Protect bait you. So think about using Feint. If you don't like Feint, what you can do is put like a Terra Blast on here. But I think Feint is going to be very, very good for breaking up those wide guards. After that, you want to have the Bullet Punch. And I like U-Turn here in this situation, so you can pivot to then regain board state with a couple other Mons. I think it's going to be a great way to play it. Now, this Forretress, this is going to be so cool. You may be thinking, why didn't I cut Forretress? Forretress is not a good Pokemon in VGC. Well, Forretress brings a couple things to the table. Realistically, Forretress gets a couple cool moves. I think, first of all, the best move on Forretress is Protect. Gotta have those Protects. Protect super, super good. And then Curse. I like this. I like this. This is so good. Curse normally gives a +1 attack and defense boost at the cost of 1 of your speed, so you get slower, so your Gyro Balls hit even harder. But if you're a Ghost type, which we can be a Ghost type, you can use this to curse your opponents at the cost of half your health and basically wall them out, which is really, really good. It gives Forretress a really, really niche play. I would not mind using this Forretress set that we're going to finish in my own like high-level ladder games. Another thing we're going to add here, we're talking about adding forms of speed control. We want Thunder Wave here. Thunder Wave Forretress, not bad. Pretty decent Pokemon to be able to allow our teammates to do well. Last but not least, we have the Gyro Ball, which is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger every single time we use Curse and stuff like that. So good stuff so far. The Grimmsnarl, you're almost right, I think. There's nothing wrong with this Grimmsnarl, but I think we're just going to sit here for now, Talonflame, though, you need to take a couple steps back here. I think realistically, you know what you need is Protect. It's really, really good. You should be using Protect on most of your mons. Tailwind is another one. And then I think Flare Blitz is just pretty standard in this situation. And then last but not least, the Hydreigon. Heat Wave's cool. Dark Pulse is cool. Flash Cannon's cool. Draco Meteor is cool. Some of these are better than the others, though. I like the Dark Pulse over here. And I like the Heat Wave. And then remember, the best move on Hydreigon is, again, Protect. You guys need to run Protect. Like, I promise you, I'm not trying to be the asshole here. You need to be running Protect on it, like at least 3 of your mons in VGC, unless you're playing some like weird, crazy, hyper-aggressive comp. You need to be running Protect, so you can actually pivot, Protect, and then regain board states. It's so important. Like for example, this Thunder Wave is really, really cool, right? You're able to Protect with your teammate, make them attack those things because they have to, and then hit them with a Thunder Wave. Now you outspeed them, and now you hit them. So it's really important to do stuff like that. Or maybe your Hydreigon's a little bit pinned by something, and you have Scizor. You go Protect Hydreigon. U-turn with Scizor, do damage, and go slow, so you soak a little bit of damage, and then you bring out the thing that pins the thing that Hydreigon is weak against, right? It's super, super good. You gotta have Protect for that sort of stuff. Now that we have some of our movesets, we can actually start working at our items next. I think realistically this Garchomp, like I said, is going to be Scarf. So Choice Scarf's really good. I think Scizor can hold like 3 or 4 different items realistically. I think Citrus Scizor is really good, but it's up to you to decide what you want to do with it. I think Citrus Scizor is really good. I think on this set we're going to have leftovers here. And on the Grimmsnarl, we got the Light Clay as always. And on this guy, I like a Life Orb here. And that's what I like in this sort of situation. And then that kind of leaves Hydreigon kind of high and dry because it doesn't have a Life Orb anymore. But the good thing about Hydreigon is realistically we have so many good coverage moves. You could even realistically go something like a Scope Lens. And you could cut this Dark Pulse for something like Focus Energy. And go with Heat Wave down here. And now you have 100% chance crit moves. With these two things, all it takes is like weaving in 1 turn of Focus Energy, and you're really, really good. So now that we have a lot more of this stuff done, let's start taking a look at our Terra types. Garchomp's going to be Ground Terra, so we can get big damage on its Earthquakes, right? Ground Terra. Garchomp also loses some weaknesses to Fairy, loses some weakness to Ice. Pretty good stuff. Scizor. We are going to be Flying Terra on Scizor, so we can pair it with our Garchomp and be able to use Feint to be able to break Wide Guards. Forretress, you need to be Ghost Terra to be able to use this correctly. Now, you could just go for regular curses and get the attack boost and the defense boost. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to go Ghost Terra to put a curse on something that's like a wall, like a Gargarnacle, it's really, really good in the late game. Grimmsnarl, you don't really want to double dip your Dark Terra. This is where I would put Ghost Terra as well, just so you can avoid fake outs and stuff turn 1. But if you want to go with a different sort of defensive Grimmsnarl, like maybe a flying Grimmsnarl to be able to pair with Garchomp, be my guest. Talonflame, you can keep flying here. You can also go Ghost to be able to avoid fake outs, but flying's good damage for double dip damage on that Brave Bird. And Hydreigon, we want Fire Terra here. This is the one that we want. You don't want to go Steel Terra anymore because you still share that fighting weakness. You can't Terra away defensively. By going Fire Terra, you still get the damage mitigation and losing weaknesses to Fairy types that you were looking for, but you also still don't take big damage from fighting attacks, and you're still not taking ground damage on either of these, just because you you still have the Levitate ability. So now we have all of these. Got to make sure our abilities are right too. This guy goes to Technician, and we start working on our EVs. Now, I'm a big fan of this Garchomp set right here. It's a 164 Jolly, and I like this set because it outspeeds Scarf Annihilate. And what I've been also recommending, though, is that people speed creep that a little bit. You should usually be trying to get your speed stats done first so you can understand exactly what speed tier you need. But this outspeeds Scarf Annihilate by 2 points, and it makes it so you can hit them with like an Earthquake or a Rock Slide or a Dragon Claw to make it so when they do Final Gambit, it won't be able to KO anything. These are the rest of the points up in here, and you have a little bit extra on this Garchomp. And you see how Garchomp has like a humongous base HP. Normally what you would do is you would just throw like 76 here and go with like a 4-4 here. But since Garchomp has a big base HP, you don't need to throw that many points into HP. What I like to do is actually throw about like 28 in here. And I like to throw like 52 or 60 in this slot. Just because it makes it so, let's think about what Garchomp's weak against. Things like ice attacks and things like fairy attacks. Those are usually special in this format. And especially when you terrestrialize into ground type, you lose that 4 times weakness to ground, just the 2 times weakness, and your fairy weakness becomes neutral. So this makes it so you actually live through a Moon Blast from a Life Orb Fluttermane as well. So it's a very, very good set here. Very, very solid set after Terra. So I like this little bulky spread a little bit more. It's still as strong as you can possibly be on a Jolly Chomp too as well. So it's very, very good. As for the Scizor, definitely want to max out that HP stat first on Scizor, just because it's not going to get diminishing returns. We know that we're going to want some speed. 65 is a very popular base speed stat, so you can actually see that by going to just random mons on Showdown, scrolling all the way, sorting it by speed, sorry, and seeing all the other mons that Scizor is like speed tying and all the other things that Scizor actually outspeeds. Now, we do have a Tailwind on this team, and I don't think Scizor needs like a ton of speed to be able to outspeed stuff inside Tailwind, since it's usually going to be using Bullet Punch. But realistically, look at all the other mons that are like base 65. So Scizor's right here, Pelipper's 65, Umbreon, Vaporeon, let's see what stuff around 65. Skeletor's is 66, Corviknight's 67, so you want to be able to outspeed these, and also if you go a little bit lower, you want to be able to outspeed speed corrupt versions of like Tyranitar, Sylveon, and stuff like that. So realistically, we want some speed, and remember, this number is going to double, and this would already be outspeeding a lot of stuff in the format. So I think realistically, like, there's nothing wrong with like 44. I think 44 is a good number to have to be able to outspeed things. This is still going to be able to outspeed base 110s. And then the rest of the points can just basically go in like a mixture of attack. I think you only really need like a 204 plus with your adamant, and then you would just throw like a 4-4 spread here. And this is just a more accurate, easy way to use your points. So pretty good EV spread. You're not wasting anything. You're about as strong as you can get. You're not going to be that much stronger than you normally would be. You're very, very bulky, and you have a citrus berry in case you need it. So good stuff. And again, you can totally put Tailwind or Terra Blast in the slot if you need it. It would help versus the Amoonguss matchup, but it's not required. Forretress, we're going to mess with this. You definitely still want to keep that 252 on the HP stat, but what we actually want to do is run a couple calcs here on this Scizor, right? Not Scizor, on Forretress. So let's check out Forretress and see how much damage we do with a level 50 Forretress using Gyro Ball. And it's already calced for how much damage it would be doing versus a Flutter Mane. Just to see how much damage it actually does. So you can see we almost KO Flutter Mane, and again, Flutter Mane's going to have a full spread here. You can see how the more speed that the Pokemon has, the faster it gets, the more damage we do with Gyro Ball. So you can see we always KO that Flutter Mane right here. But what happens if they pair the Flutter Mane with like an Intimidate user, like an Arcanine, and we get that big Intimidate? We would like this to KO, but we realistically can't guarantee it. Even if we were to go like this, and this, it doesn't guarantee it. So it's something you have to be aware of. Like, and it's not worth that investment to do that, by the way. But what we would like to do is just know that if we're not intimidated, that they're gone if we're just fine. And so we want that to always be a 2-shot if we do get intimidated, but we just want to know how much it actually does. And even if they're like a 2v2 set like this, like something weird like that, we actually still have a shot to KO them otherwise. So let's just go back to this. What I'm trying to say is we don't need a ton of attack on that thing, because we're going to be able to increase our attack even further with Curse if we have to. What we should probably be doing is spreading around these stats into being like this more. I think something like this is probably just a better spread, just because we're going to be able to increase our defense slot with Curse, so we don't actually need to put points there. It's already massive. Putting this points in Sped F's actually really good. It lets us use our points correctly. And as well, Sturdy is a great ability, but there's nothing wrong, and I would highly recommend using Overcoat. This makes it so we can switch in on Amoonguss Spores, and we're not affected by that sort of stuff. And we're not affected by Rage Powder. We can Curse whatever we want. We can Thunder Wave, Gyro Ball, whatever we want. I would use something like this. It's a very, very simple looking spread, but it gets the job done. And if there's something, if you want just a little bit more attack, you can put a little bit more in attack. You want a little bit more defense, you can put a little bit more in defense. But you would basically be getting, like, let's see, would you be getting? You would be getting diminishing returns because your special defense stat, if you double it, is lower than your HP. So you want to actually max that stat up as much as you can, make so you're effectively using all of your points. Grimmsnarl, this set's okay. You do need a little bit of speed. It's in that 60 base speed stat range. So like I would put like a 12 here, and you don't actually need this much defense on Grimmsnarl. I think if anything, you'd be going like 100 there and 156 in this other department. Just because more attacks in this meta are going to be special attacks, things like Dazzling Loom, Shadow Balls, Hyper Voices, stuff like that. You want to be more points in special defense, and realistically, you also have the access to like Spirit Break, and so I understand like sometimes people might want to go, well, I have Spirit Break, I don't need to, I don't need to use as much special defense because I have Spirit Break and Light Screen, but in reality, you can make yourself unkillable to those special attackers by doing it like this. So I would do something like this. Let me just make sure you're not wasting any points. Yeah, you are wasting points. 140 right there with a 4 in attack. So again, and the reason why we do that is the first 4 matter, and after that, it's multiples of 8. So the first 4 matter, and then 12, 20, 28, 36, 36, vice versa. So something like You know, 144 doesn't do anything, but 140 does, 148 does. So put those last 4 here to not waste any points. We just got to follow. Someone dropped a follow, and this is the same overlay that I use when I stream on Twitch, which this is your reminder to go check out the stream on Twitch. We stream every single day. We've been doing a ton of viewer battle streams, so if you want to battle me with my own teams in a best of 3 open team sheet format, think about checking out Twitch. Talonflame. This is a good set. You actually still need to be jolly, so you outspeed Masquerada and stuff like that. Solid set. Life Orb, you do a ton of damage. It's great. Hydreigon. This is going to be a little bit different. Realistically, you only need to be this fast to outspeed like Timid, Goldango, and stuff like that. And if you're already going to be doing that, you might as well just be at 252, right? You might as well just be at 252. We get the scope lens. It doesn't really matter where we put these last 4. Might as well just put it there. And like realistically, what I'd be doing is probably taking a little bit of this out because you're going to be critting every single move. I'd be going to 244 and putting like a 12 up here. And then like realistically, you could even go like a 236 and go like this and get just a little bit more bulk. And the reason why I want to get to this number here is so we take less damage from things that cause chip. But yeah, I think this is a pretty decent way to look at it. And so, yeah, I think this team's pretty good. We're going to play some games with it on Showdown and hopefully get some big wins. So, wish me luck. Let's go hop into it. Okay, so we see the Rain. That's actually like very, very similar to one of the teams that beat us. It has the Iron Treads, it has Rain, it has Intimidate, it has a potential Final Gambit Annihilate. But I think in this sort of situation, Garchomp's great versus a lot of those. It's good versus everything but Pelipper, and against Pelipper, we can be a big bully with some of these other mons. So I actually don't mind opening up like Grimmsnarl or even like Talonflame Garchomp into this board, because we can just trade Tailwinds if we want. There's so many different things we can do. We're still going to bring the Forretress because we wanted to show off what it does. And then I think you bring like a Hydreigon. Even Scizor is good at cleaning up stuff in the back, but Hydreigon's great for dealing with like Goldango and stuff like that. So let's see what they want to do. And again, you're playing for a ladder instead of like playing for open team sheet, so I understand that. So we're just going to play it like this. That's the standard lead. That's going to be a Swift Swim Golduck. We can just trade Tailwind for this, and they can only hit basically one of our mons. We can go Tailwind and just Rock Slide, and then like next turn, we can bring out something like Hydreigon to be able to pin out both those guys. So Rock Slide's fine. You can Ice Beam here, you can Hydro Bump here, you can do whatever you want here, but we're just going to be trading Tailwinds. I think it's a great way to do it, and the Pelipper can just soak this damage realistically and go for like a Tailwind back, but he has to try and do that through getting parried or start getting flinched. Physical Golduck. You don't see that as often, and there's the flinch. Awesome. It's great. We absolutely love to see that. And it's leftovers Pelipper. Cool. So we can go in this situation, bring out the Hydreigon here. I think since we have the potential to be a bully in this situation, we know they have Liquidate. They might have an Ice Beam. I'm just going to double up into that Pelipper slot and get it off the board. But you can see how even following him on getting up that speed control is super, super important. Golduck's a good mon, but it's not as fast as Hydreigon either. So I think we're still in a really, really good spot here. Big Rock Slide. Nice. And the reason we still double up into this Pelipper slot is because they could have popped a Wide Guard there. And it doesn't really matter that we dropped our stats. It doesn't matter that we dropped our stats, because what we're going to do is we're going to go for Focus Energy. They're actually going to probably be ignoring that slot next turn. And then they're going to be put in a situation where we're really, really ahead. So we get a Focus Energy off here. We could even think about going for a Terra Fire in this situation, just to be able to block them, make it rain. There's nothing really wrong with that. We also have just Garchomp able to come in. They're out of mons that can actually avoid EQ. So Garchomp's great being able to save that guy. But if they go Flying Terra Golden, that could be problematic. So let's go with the Fire Terra Terastalize, Focus Energy, and Heart Switch and Forretress in this situation. And the next turn, we'll drop like a Protect Thunder Wave and be good to go. There's the Steel Terra. Awesome. Garchomp's great versus that. So Shadow Claw. Ooh, that's a good read. Maybe they thought we were going to switch. Make it rain. We don't die there. We do not die there. Nice to see. That's a special attack trap over there. Rain's going to end in like 2 turns. This is our last Tailwind turn here, but we do massive, massive damage this turn with Hydreigon, or basically whenever we want to use anything again. We can just drop a Protect here, and realistically, we can Thunder Wave the Golduck in case that Pelipper had a little bit more speed control. We could, yeah, I think that's probably the right play. Switching out for the Annihilate, great play. So we Protect here to block anything Golduck has. They have the Jet. Not bad. They can definitely mess us up there, but let's think about what we need to do to win this one. They're probably going to Aqua Jet again, so we can hope that they get fully paralyzed, and we can just go for a Draco Meteor over here, because this is more of a threat now. We can also go for like a Gyro Ball into that slot to put it within range for Garchomp to take out, because that's probably Scarfed, and then Garchomp finishes that thing off. Actually, realistically, we can just switch out Hydreigon for Garchomp and just block that damage and be fine. And just come out with a Hydreigon that doesn't have a Focus Energy boost, but we're fine. Yeah, so switching Garchomp. Yeah, switching Garchomp. And we can even Protect there. I think Gyro is a good play, though. because it's going to put him within range. Yep, good damage there. U-turn. Awesome. So Gul'dan is actually going to take a good amount of damage from this, by the way. They're doing that to block us from going for a Thunder Wave because they have good as gold as their ability. Decent damage. There's nothing wrong with that. And so now the Golduck can still Aqua Jet, right? But we're in a good spot. We're actually just going to click Earthquake and drop a Protect. We want to get our leftovers working for us, and we want to actually save our Hydreigon to come out when we need it. So we're in a great spot here. And if they want to go for like an Aqua Jet into our Garchomp, we're fine. They already showed their Steel Terra. Like, we should be able to get a double KO here, and then we have the right mons to be able to pin the Annihilate in the back. So I think we're in a great spot here. You can see we actually are using Forretress correctly. Weaving in protects. Like, this is how you should be playing this team. And yeah, it doesn't really have any Paradox mons. And if you wanted me to use Paradox mons, I think that something like a Fluttermane could do okay. Roaring Moon could do okay too. Iron Hands could be used instead of Scizor if you really wanted to use some of those mons. But realistically, I think the team works just fine the way it is. You don't always need to use mons, but you do need to tweak and tailor your sets to be able to deal with them, you know, deal with what the meta is. Like, this team had a Paradox mon in it. It has some pretty decent stuff. We're going to start the timer because they're big pinned here. I think the only way that they get out of this, like, I don't think that they actually can. We're going to go for a Protect here, EQ, finish off the Golduck, chunk the Goldingo, probably get the KO, maybe, maybe not. But then we just bring out the Hydreigon and we basically win the game. We might not kill that Goldingo if that's really bulky, but yeah, they're absolutely done. And so now in this situation, we just hard switch out our Forretress for Hydreigon. Doesn't matter what they do. Next turn, we have at least 2 mons, and we can just take them out. So we're going to go EQ, hard switch and Hydreigon. Either you hit the Garchomp or you hit the Hydreigon. Doesn't matter really, and then I just win with what I have in the back. So EQ here. This is going to be powering up the Rage Fist, but like, it should be fine. It should be fine. We could even technically soak the damage with our Forretress and go like, actually that might be even a better idea. We go EQ here, and we just soak the damage with Forretress. We can even go for a Thunder Wave to be able to make it so Hydreigon can just come out and Draco Meteor it. No, Gyro's fine. So this is going to power up Rage Fist. Awesome. Absolutely fine. So we get a free switch in a Hydreigon. Works for me. And they can basically, so in this situation, they can go for like a Rage Fist here. And if they're Scarf, remember, we're made to outspeed Scarf and Annihilate by 1. We're going to see if they're faster than our Hydreigon, they are Scarfed. There's no other way that Annihilate gets faster than Hydreigon. So in this situation, we just go for Draco. And if we miss Draco and they hit our Garchomp here, that's big sad. But I think this is still the right play. We actually just need to Heat Wave. We don't need to do anything else spectacular. EQ. Let's see who's faster. If they are faster. Nope, they're not. Cool. So they were just the standard Annihilate. It didn't really matter then. But if they would have hit the Hydreigon in that situation, Garchomp would just outspeed them again and go for another EQ. So hopefully you understand the small changes that we made to this team. We are going to play one more game because I would like to show off a little bit of the Cursed Forretress. But I do think that like you have so much more freedom to weave in and out with these protects now. You have so much more potential to regain board state after losing it and be a little bit more of a bully. So let's go to another game and see if we can get one more win. And we're going to try our best to use the Curse on the Forretress this time. So pretty standard-ish. I would say Garchomp's pretty standard, a little bit of Lilycole. We can definitely just go like Grimmsnarl to stop Lilycole. You can just go for a Thunder Wave. Oh, we don't have Thunder Wave anymore. Actually, this one never had Thunder Wave. Right? Now, let's see. What do we want to do then? I guess we just Light Screen. Light Screen's fine. Or we can just Tailwind over it and we'd like something else. Let's see. I want to go Forretress. I want to do it, so I will. I will brute force my way through this matchup. I'm going to try those two with Hydreigon and Garchomp in the back. We're going to brute force our way through this matchup. There's so many different things we can do, and they are going to have to go Torkoal earlier than they probably want to. So we can go like Protect Light Screen and then like a Parting Shot Hard Switch and basically use our Forretress as bait for that Torkoal. Dangle that Torkoal like a little Christmas ornament right in front of that Torkoal as long as humanly possible. And this only is even bad if they lead Lilycole. Bombardier, I don't care. Belly Bolt, I do not really care. So let's do this. This is going to be able to avoid, well, fighting attacks if they were to use it. I know this thing does get fighting attacks, but they take some more damage from that. Let's see. Belly Bolt. I wonder what the combo is here. We are definitely going to go for the Curse. And we're going to curse this guy because Garchomp can just EQ out the Belly Bolt. So we're going to curse... Oh yeah, Curse hits random. I forgot. I completely forgot about that. And then I guess we would just Parting Shot into the Bombardier as well. I guess we could probably just kill the Bombardier with a Spirit Break if I wanted to be real. But now let's just Parting Shot the Belly Bolt then, and bring in our Garchomp. So Parting Shot there. Bring in the Garchomp. This is so they can't do a ton of damage in that slot. There's no reason to go for, yeah, this is totally fine. Parabolic Charge. No thanks, bro. They hit everyone. And there's the curse. We got the curse on the Belly Bolt, though. Oh, my gosh. And so what we're actually going to do is weave in these Protects, get these leftovers ticking, so we can go for a second curse. And realistically, we can just Rock Slide here because they have to switch. And if we look at what they have to switch to, we can even go for a Dragon Claw into that slot to be able to catch their Garchomp switching in. That'd be really sick. But we can just KO that thing. It seems like a good play. Ooh, Torkoal switch in. Okay, cool. We could have went for Rock Slide, but this is fine. Like I said, we're just going to be dangling. They're trying to go for flinches on us. I mean, we flinched some people earlier. That's fine. And let's see what we need to do here. So we actually do outspeed that Torkoal. We could curse to die, but it would be random. I think that like we could just switch out for Grim here and go for a Dragon Claw into the Bombardier. We shouldn't die to anything here. There's a Protect. Awesome. Knockoff's totally fine. Knockoff into that slot's good. That would have actually really done a lot of damage to our Forretress. And now Forretress can come out, go for one more Protect, and actually go for a Curse. So it's really, really good. So Lilycold, there it is. There they are. There they go. I think it's better to just screen instead of parting, because we actually don't need to repin right now. We can light screen, and if we don't die, then we parting. And we just go after Lilligant in this situation, because Torkoal's not that big of a deal. Yep, they go for the after you, but like we have a light screen up now. And we actually have a lot of bulk on both these mounts. Remember, we put points into the Grim on purpose. We put points into the Garchomp on purpose, both in special defense. So now in this situation, we know that they have a Belly Bolt in the back. We don't need to use anything spectacular. We can actually just go for like a Spirit Break in the Lilligant slot. Or we could go for like a Parting and bring in our Hydreigon if we really wanted to. We could pivot out Garchomp and Parting. So pivot out like this. That way we automatically have a board that has EQ. You like this? Like, this is really cool. Now our EQ is ready to go. Pollen Puff into Torkoal. Should be good. They can go for a big Eruption here, but like, oh, they go for a Solar Beam into a Hydreigon slot. Yeah, we take those. And now we just click EQ, Heat Wave. Don't even need to go for the Focus Energy strats. And we're basically pinning them hard. Big hard. Pollen Puff into that slot's absolutely fine. They don't get the KO because we put a little bit of points in bulk. And you can see how this team has so much more ability to weave in and out of stuff now. It's so much better than it was. It can weave in and out. It can repin things. It's not just the type of team that loses a mon and loses the game. And we used Curse Forretress. So the thing I always like to say is if anyone makes this into a rental team, I'll definitely use it for something because I think it's really fun. But yeah, I'm probably going to be breeding some Forretress like this for myself because I think this could be a really, really cool mon to use. And especially on like an open team sheet, you force your opponent to like understand what it does. And I think it's great versus Gargarnacle, which is a lot more problematic at like the higher end of the ladder and especially on like open team sheet best of 3 events. So hopefully you like these changes. Again, I would say if you guys have ever checked out the Patreon, think about checking it out. There's a link to it in the description. Let me know the type of stuff you would like to see. Right now, we do these sort of team fixings. I post all my rentals there. I post a lot of singles teams that I use to get decently high on the ladder. I post those on Patreon. Those don't come anywhere near YouTube just because YouTube doesn't really like to promote singles content for me that much. But, you know, we try and do our best to do like our monthly tournament. If there's any other sort of stuff you want to see me do on Patreon, let me know on Patreon or in the comments on this video. So other than that, hopefully you like the changes that I made. This was the original team with Lucario and Gastrodon, and this was the one that we changed it to that has Curse Ghost Forretress. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Other than that, peace out, and I'll see you guys next time.